We're coming together today to give hope from home and support the resilience of people who are hungry, homeless, and hurting. This year's theme for the tea is resilience and hope, inspired by the determination of the people we serve and reflected in this year's theme colors of ultimate gray and illuminating yellow. Your support serves to inspire all of us gathered here. We really want you to remember that this is the community's community resource center. We exist because of our caring community. We're all working together to help our neighbors create paths to healthy food, stable homes, and safe relationships. We have a short video to share that shows how you impact the lives of people in our community.
Right now, someone in your neighborhood may be experiencing their darkest moment.
If someone asked me why they should come to the Community Resource Center, I would simply share with them because it takes a village. It takes a village to rebuild and to build and to continue to give yourself sustainability. So when you walk through these doors, you realize you need someone that can step in and be very unconditional with their words and their wisdom. We are all here with the same common goal to get service, to get the help and the supports that are needed.
Community Resource Center was founded by community members to respond to the essential needs of neighbors who were struggling. We've been serving the San Diego North Coastal region since 1979, providing the essential services of food, shelter, and safety from domestic violence.
An element of the work we do is working in a wraparound model to meet all of their needs in one location because their world has been turned upside down basically. And they need help in terms of stabilizing their lives, feeling safe and secure again, and really getting them back on the path so that they can move forward with their lives.
For the first time ever, I was validated for how I felt, and I didn't have to defend it. I didn't have to make excuses, and I was supported and loved.
Even working full-time and part-time while living in my RV with no rent and saving, I didn't know how I would ever get myself finally into an apartment. The expense was too great, and thankfully, because of the resource and the programs of the CRC, that was able to happen within a short amount of time, and I don't know if I could have done it without that resource.
What inspires me as a case manager is being able to provide hope to my participants or my clients, hope in the reality of finding home and stability, hope in their reality in finding employment and being able to connect with their families.
You change the lives of thousands of people in need by giving them hope, the kind of hope that provides them with a pathway to a brighter future.
If I were to describe CRC in one word, I would say blessing, because they are a blessing to myself, to our community and the community around us.
When you come to CRC and when you engage with us for help, please know that you may feel embarrassed, you may feel ashamed, but you will be met with compassion. Conveying that sense of human dignity to every person who comes to us is very, very important.
Community Resource Center, helping people who are hungry, homeless, and hurting.
I really do hope that video gave you a sense of the impact you make by supporting CRC's programs. Lindsay said it several times, and I'll say it again. I wish we could all be together in person today. But even though we're not, I know we're going to make the best of our time to engage with each other, to learn more about CRC's programs, and to help our neighbors in need. Before we go any further, though, I do want to pause, and on behalf of CRC and our tea committee, I'd like to dedicate this tea to the memory of Margaret Opliger. Margaret was a longtime volunteer and supporter of CRC, a member of the tea committee, and this last year, she lost her battle with cancer. She was a caring person who was devoted to helping others, and we miss her presence here today. just like to have a moment of quiet and to honor her life with that silence. And now if you would just join me in raising a glass of tea, champagne, and toasting to Margaret's life. May her memory be a blessing to us all. At this time, I'd also like to take a moment to acknowledge the partners listed on the screen and in your program. We're especially pleased to recognize our Empowering Level partners, Carlsbad Interiors and Ranch and Coast Magazine. Thank you to these donors, present and absent, who already made a gift to CRC. I also want to thank the members of our board of directors who are here. You can easily identify them as you look at the gallery view, and they have CRC board in their screen names. They provide valuable leadership to this organization and give to make sure it's successful and also accountable as we serve for our community. And now, this is a great honor. We are honored by the long-standing support of our elected public officials who share our concern for people in need. Our current mayor has attended the tea for many years, and I'm pleased to introduce today our mayor, the Honorable Catherine Blakespear, again this year. Welcome, Mayor Blakespear.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me here today and for spending your afternoon doing this. That was a great video, really inspirational, and it always warms my heart when I have the ability to see the difference that CRC is making in the community. And to say thank you to all the people, I look down here, 61 participants who are not enjoying each other's company in person, but willing to sit in front of a screen for a longer time. So thank you very much for inviting me to say just a few words here. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about the importance of the resilient community, because we know that resilience really at its most basic means the ability to recover from a setback. And we have in our community individual resilience, and then we have community resilience. And I think we all have seen in this COVID-19 pandemic that the individual resilience for the affluent has been really strong. So there are people who have high-paying jobs who have survived, and some have even prospered. Their stock market portfolios have gone up and their homes values have increased, and during their children's education, they have laptops and they have broadband and they have iPads, and some parents can stay home and support their kids' educational needs. But for other people who are less affluent, that reality is just not shared for them. So we all know that there's been really a significant job loss in the service and retail sectors. And that influences, or that affects people substantially. There are many people who have not yet gone back to work. And some people are finding themselves protected from homelessness only because of the eviction moratoriums, and their rent will be coming due and become payable. And we know that others have slipped into homelessness altogether. If you're reading the newspaper, you know that the number of people living without shelter has gone up and is continuing to go up all the time. And we also know that those who still have a job have had to remain on that job, some of them putting their own health at risk to do that. And so the community resilience really comes down to uniting around those people. And this is one of the things I think that Encinitas does best, and one of the things that I'm most proud of. When we have these types of stresses on our system, like the COVID-19 epidemic, this can worsen the divide that we already see between the haves and the have-nots. And so the need for the resilient community is really apparent. We have to, and we are committed to, those connections that allow all of us to move forward, to succeed in both good times and in bad times, and to help each other. And so ultimately, the resilient community is what creates the resilient individual and helps the individual be resilient. So the keys to our success in the city of Encinitas are things like these partnerships with the Community Resource Center. The Community Resource Center is unparalleled in the work it does in our city and in this wider region. This is critical help that's being provided to navigate and help people create a life of safety and stability and self-sufficiency. So for decades, the city of Encinitas has recognized and supported the CRC and its important efforts. And I'm so pleased to be here today representing the city, and then to be joined by so many of you, because we know that organizations are made up of the people who make them and the culture that's created. So our city's residents and our businesses and the many partnerships. I'm proud to say that Encinitas is a resilient community, and in large part, that's thanks to the Community Resource Center. And therefore to all of you here today. So we all know we need to continue to do this vital work of helping each other, of helping each individual person to be resilient and to be able to embrace the opportunities to thrive. Because ultimately, that's, I think, what we all want for our fellow human, is those opportunities to thrive. So thank you again for your commitment and your dedication in joining together with the CRC and with each other as the critical partnerships that we need going forward. I'm really grateful to be here today, and I thank you for taking the time to listen.
Well, we are so happy to have you, and thank you so much for grounding us in the why behind today. We absolutely appreciate you being here. Thank you again, Mayor.
Thank you.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you, Mayor Blakespear. We are often asked about our impact in the community, and there are a variety of ways we share that. But today I really want to focus on the fact that the heart of CRC's impact is really how we connect the values of the people in our community to those who need help in their darkest day. We transform your gifts into hope and help for someone who's navigating a path to a brighter future for themselves and for their family. I'd like to give you an opportunity to hear directly from CRC participants as they tell their own stories.
My name is Joanna Trelove, and I'm a survivor of domestic violence. I found myself in a very unhealthy relationship, and it wasn't until I was knocked out and lost my 2 front teeth did I realize I needed help.
My name's Clementine, and not very long ago, I was what was considered homeless. I lived in my RV that I purchased in lieu of being able to rent somewhere. Being a mom is basically what inspired me to make the change for both of us. I feel like I was trapped due to illness and physical limitation and things that I wasn't used to dealing with, and finally realized it's just kind of here, at least for now. And it was looking at her that made me push further and say, you know what, I can feel like this and fail us, or I can feel like this and do everything I can to make sure that she succeeds.
My name's Colleen, and I was once homeless for a very long time. What brought me to CRC was I worked part-time as a special education teacher's aide, and I didn't make enough money to live in the apartments I was at. And that's where the homelessness started.
No matter where I was before, who I thought I was at some point, I was starting at ground zero, and I was going to rebuild myself. And the moment that I walked through these doors, it started to happen.
To be trusted, to work with somebody who has gone through such horrendous abuse, to be able to go through the deepest of their pain together, knowing that I'm going to step with them the whole way through and see them get to the other side, see their children begin to smile again, and to see a person who's undergone such transformation is really what this clinical program is all about.
If I had to describe the supports that I received from the CRC, it would be recognition. I was allowed permission to come out of isolation and to stop covering things up and hiding my emotion. And for the first time ever, I found my voice. And when you need help and you need support, and you're with people that are there showing up for you to do it, you're all one.
For 3 years, I didn't even believe there was any help or hope. I just pushed through all of my challenges and started working full-time and part-time. And had I not received the resources and help from the CRC, I don't know when I would have ever ended up in an apartment. I didn't feel like I was going to get there on my own, and they changed that.
One of the values we have at CRC is compassion, meeting the participants where they're at, and they are the expert in their own life. And so compassion is understanding where they've been, where they want to be, and how we can help them get there. One of our favorite days in the Integrative Services Department is move-in day, where there's an excitement about it and the participant is excited to move into their new place. We help them get different things from the resale stores. We make sure that they're set up to move into this place that makes it a home and not just a house.
I could not have done this without Rosalba and Community Resource Center. She's wonderful. She was my biggest fan. She would always call and check on me. She would get me referrals. She would find the houses and apartments for rent. It was really nice to have someone on my side.
I've surrounded myself with the right ingredients to help me become a better person, and with the right support so that I can sustain this new health and this new wellness. My children are watching that, and they're learning how to take care of yourself in healthy ways. And they're learning how to integrate that into the relationships that they have. And hope for me is knowing that this cycle stops with me and a new one that is healthier begins.
My daughter, who is a senior in high school right now and is 17, her future has changed for the better in this past year. She's not hindered by things that were out of her control, so she's moving forward in everything by leaps and bounds.
Now I have a beautiful place to live. I call it a piece of heaven. It's really nice. My future, I'm back. I'm finding myself again. Well, I know that all you need is this much hope, and that's all you need. And there was a time when that's all I had, but now there's so much hope. Sky's the limit.
When I watch that video, I'm reminded of the resilience of not only our clients who come to us in crisis, but our staff, especially over the last year, who are dedicated to helping people through crisis. And so many of them navigated their own personal family needs with the information that we had and didn't know yet about COVID-19. And they showed up every day, providing direct service and support to people in need. So I just want to take a moment to recognize all of our staff at CRC who are really the heart of our resilience, and you're at the soul of who we are as an organization. Thank you.
You really are at the center of what we do, and I couldn't agree with John more. I'm amazed by the dedication of our team to this community. And you know what, now is probably a good time, John. Can you tell everyone how the pandemic affected our community and CRC and the staff in the last year?
I can. We saw people who experienced economic vulnerability, and their economic vulnerability was exposed, and saw increased needs, significant increased needs for our services. We distributed nutritious food to 30% more visits to our food nutrition center each hour it was open. We assisted with housing, financial, and career resources through 38% more case management sessions. And one of the most traumatic things to witness during the last year, what I've heard called the shadow pandemic, was the increase in instances of people experiencing domestic violence. We received 28% more calls to our domestic violence hotline, and that number is probably skewed lower than the actual number of people who are experiencing that kind of trauma. And they came to us seeking help and escape from violence through the emergency assistance and safety net services we provide. Because of your support, our staff has been on the front lines, empowered and enabled to work with people on their individual paths, guiding, listening, helping people emerge and walk through the darkness of crisis and fill their lives with the hope-filled light of a brighter future.
It does feel like we're getting toward the end of this. However, it's going to continue. The need is going to continue. So people are probably out there thinking to themselves, how can I help? So everyone, this is our time. This is our time to help.
Thank you all for everything you do to give in our service to our community and to others. So hold up your Hope Is cards that you wrote on, maybe even closer to your camera, so that we can all see together what hope is to you, because it's not just one person's view of hope, it's all of us coming together as our community's resource center that gives hope.
Oh, it's beautiful. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
A reason to keep believing. Yes, Sarah. Oh.
Beautiful.
Believing. A bright future.
The start to new beginnings.
Oh.
This is the best our community is and offers, and it's such a privilege to sit in a place and be in a community that supports each other. Together, we help our neighbors as they walk into their brighter futures. On behalf of everyone who's attended, and on behalf of CRC, we're grateful for this community.